All right. Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to 1971. Hey, there's Jack Dawson. Hey, brother, how you doing, brother? Jack Dawson, first one in the ballpark. So, continuing on 1971 to eventually legacy into 1972. Action PC baseball. So, yep. Here we go. Let's look at the standings, and then we'll talk about tonight's game. So in the National League West, the Atlanta Braves with a 6.5 game lead over the Houston Astros and 8 games up on the San Francisco Giants. In the National League East, the Pittsburgh Pirates 5 games up on the New York Mets. And the American League West, Oakland holding just a 1.5 game lead over the White Sox, 4 over the Angels. And the other two teams still outside chance, Kansas City and Minnesota, 8 and 8.5 back respectively. And finally, in the American League East, the team with the best record in baseball at 60-27, 7 games up on the New York Yankees, and 8.5 up on the Baltimore Orioles. And tonight we will see a battle of American League division winners. So Detroit traveling to Oakland for a little ball game here. So Detroit versus Oakland. Did I get my comment and pocket pen run? I can't see the batter up option. You can't. You can't see the batter up option. Now that's bizarre. So I'm going to bring it up here really quickly just to show you, and then we'll get back into it. Okay, back into Action PC. So let's just, we're just going to have it just pick and print a game. Doesn't matter. Just going to jump into it for a minute. Print play game. Play game day. And yep, just advanced fielding. Okay, and okay. There's the batter up button right there. It's right there, um, Jack. If you can see it, I don't know if it has to do with maybe the resolution of your monitor or whatever, but there's the batter up button. So along the bottom, you should be seeing score sheet, box score, batter up, select out, select hit, select other, bunt, and hit and run. That's right below, right, the dice and right, and the baseball field and everything like that. Enzo, welcome in. He says 1977, Oakland versus California. Doc Medich took a no-hitter into the ninth with 2 outs, and Bobby Bonds homered. Closest you ever came to a no-hitter, A's 10 and Angels 1. Oh, man, that hurts. Keep at it, man. You'll get to I've only ever had one. So you'll get there. But, man, that's frustrating. I know. Jack, make sure that you check. Is there a way to shorten the screen on your PC? So you can on your you can personalize your screen resolution on your PC. And so I'm guessing that your resolution is too low, and that's why you're not seeing the batter up screen. So because although you can't see it, I'm dragging this over to a smaller monitor. And so I obviously cannot see that batter up button. So what I would have to do is go into, I believe it's in display settings, and you can you want to just do that. Let me see if I could just do this on this other thing here, just so that you know. So you go to display settings, I believe it is, and you're seeing my screen over there actually. So I haven't really done this in a long time, but there is a way that you can change the size of text, apps, and other items. So right now I'm at 100%. I think, and there's your display resolution. So mess with scale and with resolution, so you can see it recommended resolution, what have you. So change those. Obviously, if you can get to the recommended, I don't know what your specs say is your recommended, but try to. So let's say you're down here at 1280 by 720. You want to try to bump it up till you can still see things. Obviously when you go up here, these are high res monitors and stuff like that. But try to hit, somewhere around here if you can, and see if that works for you, Jack. And then you should be able to see it. All right. All right. We're going to bump back out of Pocket Pennant Run Baseball and back into Action PC Baseball. Okay. So I think that's what's going on. Just play with your resolution and display, and find those in display settings. And Windows will always let you switch back. So hopefully that helps you, Jack, because it's really, really a fun game. I have a couple questions for Paul about project management. There's still something I'm missing. I've created some projects based on his way of doing it that we saw in the video last night. But it seems like when I'm loading in another project again, I'm getting this message it's going to wipe out stats or something. So I'm going to try to get an answer from Paul and then let you guys know about that. But the way he does and the way we showed last night on his video, a lot easier than the original way that we learned from Craig. So definitely suggest that. But I'm not quite sure because it's not switching. When I select projects in Pocket Pennant Run Baseball and then I hit Baseball HQ, it's not switching that. But when I load in a project from the project management menu, I'm getting this thing about the when you load it in, it resets all the stats, which is not what I want. So I'm not really clear on how you switch those up. But that being said, Pocket Pennant Run, that will be for another night. So we are on our way to the Oakland Coliseum, where the Detroit Tigers will meet the Oakland A's. Lulich versus Dobson. And let's go. All right. And boom, and boom. All right, welcome everybody to the Oakland Coliseum for this game between the Detroit Tigers and the Oakland Athletics. Mickey Lulich will start for the Tigers, 25 starts on the year, and his record 16 wins, 6 losses, and earned run average of 3.48. And this will be his second start against Oakland, and against them he is 1-0 with an ERA of 1.04. And taking the mound for the Oakland A's will be Chuck Dobson. 15 starts in the year for him, 4 wins, 6 losses, with an ERA of 4.33. This will be his first start against the Tigers. 66 degrees at game time here in Oakland, and the wind speed is 6 miles per hour out to right center field. And let's play ball. All right. So settle in, guys. We'll have a little bit of fun here, and just making sure we get everything set. Let's look at the starting defense for the Oakland A's. In left field, Tommy Davis. In center, Reggie Jackson. In right, Joe Rudy. At first base, Mike Epstein. At second, Dick Green. At short, Larry Brown. At third base, Sal Bando. Catching is Dave Duncan, and on the mound is Chuck Dobson. Leading it off here for the Tigers, Aurelio Rodriguez, hitting .244. 9 home runs and 38 runs batted in. So a battle between the American League East and the American League West leaders. All right, Dobson deals full count, and he loses Rodriguez. So fastball missing just a bit high, and brings up Al Kaline. So Kaline hitting .318, 7 home runs, 28 runs batted in for Kaline. 1-0 pitch. Kaline sends this one deep to center field. Jackson leaps and makes the grab against the wall. Great catch by Reggie. So 1 down for Jim Northrup. Detroit center fielder hitting .259 with 11 home runs and 45 runs batted in. Aurelio Rodriguez on at first has 1 steal thus far this season. Dobson deals 1-0 pitch. This one soft liner to Brown. And Larry Brown has it for out number 2. All right, here's Willie Horton. 13 home runs for Willie, a .299 average, 51 runs batted in for him. 2 down, 1 on for Detroit, just underway here in Oakland. And the throw down, and Rodriguez is caught stealing. So running themselves out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. We played a half inning. The Tigers nothing, and the Oakland A's coming to back. Starting defense for the Detroit Tigers in left field tonight, Willie Horton. In center, Jim Northrup. And in right, Al Kaline. At first base, Norm Cash. At second, Dick McAuliffe. At short, Ed Brinkman. And at the hot corner, Aurelio Rodriguez. Behind the plate, of course, none other than Bill Freehan, fixture behind there. And Mickey Lolich, the lefty, on the mound. Larry Brown to lead things off here for Oakland. Hitting .250 on the year with 6 runs batted in. Lolich has the sign from Freehan. Here's the pitch. First pitch swinging. Hard ground ball. Diving stop by Brinkman. Throw from the knees across to Cash. Spectacular 6-3 put out. 29th great play of the year for Tigers shortstop Ed Brinkman. All right, here's Joe Rudi now. Right fielder for these Oakland A's, hitting .275 with 3 dingers, 32 runs batted in. Lolich, 2-0 pitch. Rudi swings, and this one line deep to right. This is going to get down. Kaline plays it off the wall, and Joe Rudi with his 19th double of the season. So 1 out and a runner in scoring position for Oakland as Reggie Jackson slides into the batter's box. Reggie hitting .289. He's put 20 out of the park, and he has batted in 61. Freehan sets the target for Mickey Lolich. Lefty checks Rudi. Joe Rudi with 2 steals in the season thus far. Comes home with a full count, and Reggie Jackson will perambulate to first. 2 on for Oakland. Brings up Tommy Davis. Tommy Davis hitting .308, a home run, 11 runs batted in. And Lolich steals 0-2 pitch. Hard ground ball, Brinkman, McAuliffe, Cash, and that will be the inning-ending double play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the top of the second inning, scoreless here at Oakland. So, Jack, let me know, if messing with the resolution, scaling, and everything like that will help. I suspect you have a small monitor with low resolution, but you should kick that. You can kick that up pretty easily, I think. All right, Willie Horton back in the plate. Horton was up when Rodriguez was caught stealing. So Horton, Cash, and Freehan, the 4-5-6 due up for the Tigers. Bat tops and into the wind. 0-1 pitch. Willie Horton, sinking line drive out there to left field, but Davis has it for out number 1. Stormin' Norman Cash having a good season thus far. Hitting .309, 20 home runs, 51 runs batted in. Dobson deals. 2-2 pitch and fastball there that Norman Cash went after and came up empty. So 2 down. Chuck Dobson had getting his first strikeout of the game. And here's the catcher, Bill Freehan. He's hitting .260, 11 home runs, 58 runs batted in for Bill Freehan. Chuck Dobson deals. First pitch swinging. Fly ball into shallow left. Davis has it for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down. Bottom of the second. We are scoreless in Oakland. Sal Bando will be leading things off here. Bando, 19 home runs, a .275 average, 57 ribbies. 3-1 pitch, and Mickey Lolich loses Sal Bando. So Sal Bando will make it down to first. Bando with 2 steals in the season. And here's Mike Epstein, .239, 12 homers, 32 ribbies. Bando takes a conservative lead off first. Lolich with a check of the runner. 1-1 pitch, and Epstein grounds this past second into right. Bando thought about third, but held up. 2 on for Oakland. Nobody down. Bottom of the second for Dave Duncan. Hitting .240, 12 home runs, 43 runs batted in. Lolich with 2 on, and the 1-0 pitch, and this one high, deep, open the window, Aunt Minnie. Dave Duncan hits it into the first row of the second deck here at Oakland Coliseum. A 3-run shot, 13th home run by Dave Duncan on the year, and Oakland leads Detroit 3-0 in this battle of the American League leaders here in 1971. Dick Green in the box now. Oakland second baseman hitting .246. He has 5 round trippers and 28 ribbies. 0-2 pitch. Hard ground ball. Rodriguez diving stop. Glove in front of the knee. Gets the ball out of the glove and on to Storm and Norman Cash. So Brinkman and Rodriguez flashing the leather here in the left side of the infield for the Detroit Tigers in this game. So 1 away now for the pitcher, Chuck Dobson. Dobson hitting .258. He's batted in 4. Lolich deals 1-1 pitch. Fly ball deep to center. Northrop has it at the track for out number 2. Back at the top of the order now for Larry Brown, who grounded out to Ed Brinkman at short back in the first. Lefty Lolich deals 0-2 pitch. Grounded behind the mound. McAuliffe ranging to his right, but bad off-balance throw. And Cash has to chase it over by the grandstand. And by the time he recovers the ball, Brown is in scoring position. 3rd error of the year for Dick McAuliffe. All right, brings up Joe Rudi. Doubled back in the first. 2 down for Oakland here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. 2-2 pitch, and Joe Rudi looks at a fastball in at the knees for called strike 3. So 3 runs on the Dave Duncan home run, 2 hits and 1 error. We've played 2 in Oakland, and it's 3-0 in favor of Oakland. And the Tigers will send up McAuliffe, Brinkman, and Lolich here in the top of the 3rd inning. Thank you for stopping in tonight, folks, and hanging out for a little bit of Wednesday night baseball. All right. McAuliffe hitting .207 with 14 home runs and 43 runs batted in. Chuck Dobson deals 2-0 pitch, and this gets down and all the way to the corner and right. McAuliffe going for 2. Rudi plays it off the wall, fires it into Dick Green quickly. So McAuliffe with a leadoff double here for the Tigers in the top of the 3rd inning, and that will bring up Ed Brinkman. He's flashing a leather. Let's see what he does with the stick today. .264 average, 2 homers, 26 runs batted in. McAuliffe out there at second with 3 stolen bases. Dobson deals 1-1 pitch. High fly ball to center field. Reggie Jackson ranges to his right at the wall, makes the grab, and a strong throw into Sal Bando to keep Dick McAuliffe at second. So 1 away now for Mickey Lolich. Mickey hitting an even .200 with 6 RBI. 0-2 pitch. Lazy fly ball out to center field. Jackson has it. McAuliffe bluffs going, and he will hold. So 2 down now. And we are back at the top of the order for Aurelio Rodriguez, who walked and was caught stealing. 1-2 pitch. Fly ball. Carrying to right. Joe Rudi back on the track. And he has it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2.5 gone here in Oakland. 3-0. Oakland leads Detroit. Reggie Jackson will lead things off here. Jackson walked last time up. Lolich with 2 walks and a strikeout. 2-2 pitch. Reggie Jackson, big cut and a miss. Strike 3. Mickey Lolich now with his 2nd strikeout of the game. And I'm missing comments. So far, your display settings can only reach 1360. Yikes. So I can tell you that if you check on Amazon, if you got a couple extra bucks, monitors are not that expensive. You don't need anything really big and kind of, for high res gaming and stuff like that. The other thing that you could do is if you have a television, and it has HDMI input and your computer has HDMI output, you could just get yourself an HDMI cable, hook it into the television, and have your computer detect your television as your other display, and Bob's your uncle, brother. So that would be another way to do it. If that's the highest res you can go, I'm not sure how else you could scale that down. Any Windows experts in here, if you have any advice for Jack, let us know, please. And Jack, also ask in the Discord as well, because a lot of folks aren't here tonight or whatever. And I think try to get you some answers, my friend. Okay. Want to get you playing. It's a good game. You bought it, and definitely want to get you playing. All right, here's Tommy Davis. Tommy Davis last time grounded into a double play. But one down here in the bottom of the third inning, a 3-0 Oakland lead. 1-0 pitch, and Davis up the middle, past, or toward right, I should say, past McAuliffe. And Davis is aboard. So fourth hit in the game for Oakland brings up Sal Bando. Bando walked back in the second. To see if Lolich tries to work around Bando as Mike Epstein waits on deck. Bando having a really good season thus far. 1-1 pitch, hard ground ball, driven into center field. Northrup can't hold on to the ball, so score that one, E8. So Bando with a single advances on the error, 2 in scoring position for Oakland. Only 1 down for Mike Epstein, who is 1 for 1. Singled back in the second. Lolich in trouble here, already having given up 3 runs in the bottom of the second. 1-0 pitch, and what do we have here? This is a wild pitch. A wild pitch, and Tommy Davis will score the 4th Oakland run, 4-0. So we're going to have to maybe keep a short leash on Mickey here. You don't want to give up on an excellent starter like that, but that curveball just got away from Mickey. Sal Bando, 90 feet away, represents the possible 5th Oakland run. Epstein back in the box to count 2-0. Epstein swings. Long fly ball to right field. Kaline back, makes the grab. Bando will tag and come in to score. So Epstein picking up the sac fly RBI. 5-0 Oakland. Dave Duncan with 3 RBI today, and that was that big 3-run shot back in the second. Oakland catcher in the box. Got to remember to get a picture of Mr. Duncan. Lolich deals. 1-2 pitch. This one high and deep. Horton at the wall makes the grab. So Dave Duncan seeing the ball well today. Oakland tallies 2 more on 2 hits. There was 1 error. 3 in the books here in Oakland. Oakland leading the team with the best record in baseball right now, leading 5-0. Oakland needing this win is both races tight in the American League. All right, Al Kaline, Jim Northrup, Willie Horton due up. Kaline flew out to deep right center last time. And the 3-0 pitch, and on 4 pitches, Chuck Dobson walks Al Kaline. Jim Northrup now center fielder in the box, lined out to short last time up. Kaline has 2 thefts on the season. Dobson deals, 0-1 pitch, fly ball, left field, Davis back, near the scoreboard, makes the grab. Davis not a strong arm out there in left field, but they're not going to push Kaline to second. All right, here's Willie Horton. Willie Horton flew out to shallow left. Dangerous bat, Willie Horton. And the actual 1972, 22 home runs, 72 runs batted in. And so far, 13 home runs, 51 in our project. Dobson deals. Willie Horton first pitch swinging. Reggie Jackson reels it in for out number 2. Throw hits Brown at short. Kaline retreats to first. Stormin Norman Cash, nothing for 1. Whiffed last time up. Chuck Dobson with 1 strikeout, and that's the man at the plate. 1-0 pitch, and Cash goes the other way. Davis has it tracked down for out number 3. So Detroit once again turned away. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. 5-0. So Chuck Dobson working on a 1-hitter right now. Dick Green, Chuck Dobson, and then back at the top of the order here, Larry Brown. So Green in the game, grounded to third back in the second, as I got to scroll down. And Greg Gorecki. Good evening, Greg. How are you tonight? Great to see you. Great to see you, Greg. Let me pop out these comments. A little easier to see everybody's. There we go. Easier to see comments that way. So Enzo telling us that he took a no-hitter into the 9th. And then Bobby Bonds did him dirt. So it was a 10-1 game. Bobby Bonds ruining his no-hitter. So Man, ugh, been there many times, man. I've only had one no hitter, and that was a Scott McGregor no hitter that was actually on the channel here one night, and that was in 2023. So I haven't had a no hitter that I've seen since then. I mean, I've had projects where they happen, but it's frustrating. All right. So Dick Green grounded to third back in the second. Lolich deals, count full, and big. There's a little foul tip, and Bill Freehan able to hold on to the ball. So Mickey Lolich picking up his third strikeout. Greg says he's doing fine. Stopped by for a while. Braden is still on the Olympic clock. I get you. Thank you for stopping by for a bit. Really appreciate it. All right, here's Chuck Dobson. Flew out to deep center last time up. Lolich, full count. And, boy, you never want to walk your opposite number. But Mickey Lolich gives Chuck Dobson the free pass, and we swing around the top of the order for Oakland. Larry Brown was safe on an error last time, but he's 0 for 2. Lolich brings it. 0-1 pitch. This one drilled into center. Northrup juggles the ball, can't hold on to it. 8th error for Northrup, and his second one today. This could prove costly. So 3 errors for the Detroit Tigers, and 2 of them charged to Jim Northrup. So 2 in scoring position. Greg says he tends to try to watch everything live, or otherwise he would be fine. It's tough, man. All the things to watch, Olympics and everything. And I guess the mercy is the Olympics will be over before baseball starts. I don't know if you're a fan of the World Baseball Classic, but we're about 2 weeks, roughly 2 weeks from that. And then just a couple weeks after that, opening day, Major League Baseball. So they're keeping you busy, Greg, keeping you busy. 2 in scoring position, 1 down, and Oakland already with a 5-0 lead. All right, and here is Joe Rudy, 1 for 2, struck out his last time up. Lolich works out of the stretch, and the 1-2 pitch. Hard ground ball. Brinkman's going to go first for the shore out. Coming in to score is Chuck Dobson. So that walk by Mickey Lolich proves costly. As Casey Stengel said, oh, those bases on balls. It is now 6-0 Oakland. The only time they were held scoreless was in the first. Reggie Jackson, 0 for 1 and a walk. Struck out his last time up. Larry Brown skittering down the line at third. Lolich out of the stretch. And the pitch. Long fly ball to right, but it doesn't quite have the distance. K-Line will glove it for out number 3, but Oakland picks up another one. 1 hit, 1 error. Top of the 5th in Oakland, 6-0. Bill Freehan will lead things off, and Dick McAuliffe and Ed Brinkman for the Tigers. They need to get to work here. Freehan flied to shallow left his last time up. 1-1 pitch. Fly ball, but Reggie Jackson picks it off the blade of grass here at Oakland Coliseum. 1 down for Dick McAuliffe. He has the lone hit for the Tigers, and that was a double back in the 3rd. Dobson winds and deals. McAuliffe bouncing ball. Green has it on the room service bounce off to Mike Epstein for the 4-3 putout. So 2 away here for Detroit in the top of the 5th inning. And Ed Brinkman flew out back in the 3rd. Dobson deals. 0-1 pitch. And ground ball base hit into right. Past the glove of Larry Green, or Dick Green. God, I'm getting my Larrys and Richards all messed up tonight. Yep, and also the Paralympics start on March 6th. Greg said he pushed for coverage of the Para Games when he worked at CBC. I didn't know you worked at CBC. That's cool. And just prior to your retirement, you covered the games on television for the first time. That's awesome. What a great legacy that is, and so happy that you pushed for those. So Greg with CBC knows all about the Red Green Show, among other things. And D. Scott Howard, welcome in, man. He says Detroit had a typical 1970s outfield, hitters that were average, defenders at best. Had to play him somewhere. No kidding. 36 years with CBC. Something to be proud of, and certainly the Paralympics. That's that. What a great thing. What a great legacy that is, Greg. D. Scott, how are you doing? How are you doing out there on the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest? How are things, brother? All right, here's Mickey Lulich. He is nothing for one. Lulich flew out to center, back in the third, 2 down. Ed Brinkman on. Dobson 1-0 pitch. Lulich taps this. Green makes a diving stop and gets it to Epstein for the out. 22nd great play for Dick Green on the season, and that takes care of the Tigers. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. Top or bottom of the 5th, I should say. Oakland all over Detroit right now, 6-0. Oakland leading the American League West right now at 50-37, and Detroit with the best record in baseball at 60-27, leading the American League East. First day of a 2-job trip. Cool. D. Scott Howard is our resident whisperer of all things. Well, it's mostly mammals, but I suspect he does well with reptiles and amphibians as well. All right, it'll be Tommy Davis, Sal Bando, and Mike Epstein due up for the A's. So Tommy Davis last time grounded one, or ground ball single, I'm sorry. 0-2 pitch, and tapper to McAuliffe. McAuliffe has it and feeds on to Norman Cash. 4-3. Here's Sal Bando. So singled, reached second on an error last time. So Greg says started in February 1984 and was part of the coverage of the Los Angeles Olympics. And one of his final assignments was covering the Raptors title run in 2019. Man, what a great career. That is super, super cool. You're going to have to tell us more about it, Greg. That's great. Love to get you on the mic sometime and maybe talk about some of the things that you did for CBC. And that is so cool. To be part of the Olympics, part of that coverage, that had to be amazing. As for somebody that's never been to the Olympics, any Olympics, winter or summer, that would be something to see. But to actually to cover it, man, and of course, as you know, the Paralympics, just wow. So D. Scott talking about amphibians and fish, fishies. We forgot the fishies. He says there's a frog and goldfish pond on the goat farm, but they fend for themselves. All right. Good to know. One down, because we know how those fish, they can cause you some headaches, man. When I was living in Europe, I used to have a koi pond, and that was no fun because you had to be careful in the winter. So if your koi pond, like we had a really cold winter one year, man, and rare, but it was cold for like 2 weeks. Had to go out and you had to very gently kind of break the ice. As you can't pound on the ice because the concussion or the waves were making concussive on the fish. Scary stuff, man. Greg says he was there in Montreal in 1976 as well, but it ended just prior to his 17th birthday. Wow. That is awesome. So awesome. Now, the Olympics I wouldn't want to have been at would have been the 1972 Olympics in Munich. That was scary stuff. So I've read. Ugh. All right, here's the pitch to Sal Bando. 1-0 pitch. This one high, but not deep enough. Northrop has it at the wall for out number 2. There's lefty Mike Epstein now. So Epstein with a sac fly back in the third that scored Sal Bando, giving Oakland its 5th run. Lulich brings it home. 0-1 pitch. Epstein high pop towards short. Brinkman calls off Rodriguez and has it for out number 3. So for a change, Oakland held scoreless, and we go to the top of the 6th. The A's lead the Tigers 6-0. Top of the order for Detroit, Aurelio Rodriguez, Al Kaline, Jim Northrup. Jim Northrup looking to try to seek some sort of absolution. 2 of the 3 Detroit errors belong to the center fielder. Rodriguez 0 for 1 with a walk. Dobson has the sign from Dave Duncan, so far the big hero today for the Oakland A's. 1-2 pitch, and this one, little liner right to Dick Green, and he's going to pull that one down, out number 1. All right, here's Al Kaline. He is nothing for 1, walked his last time up. Dobson sets and deals, 2-0 pitch, fly ball left field, Tommy Davis back, Tommy Davis has it. 2 up, 2 down, Jim Northrup nothing for 2. He's lined out and flown out. Greg tells us that one of his cousins was an Olympic class athlete, high jump, but was injured prior to the 72 Olympics. Yeah, right? Which in hindsight was a godsend. That was a scary, scary thing, everything I've read about that. Now, weird trivia about that, if you're a fan of British comedies. So while the 72 Olympics were suspended during that time, the BBC needed something to fill in airtime, and Are You Being Served made it onto the BBC thanks to that. So kind of a interesting way for a pretty revered British comedy to make it on. The 72 Olympics, though, scary time. All right. 2-2 to Northrup, and Northrup lines 1 to center field. So Detroit picks up its 3rd hit of the game, 2 away for Willie Horton. Willie has flown out, and not with a lot of power either, twice. 1-0 pitch. This one deep to left, but Tommy Davis on the track has it for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning, 6-0 Oakland. D. Scott Howard says, or asking, he's asking Greg Gorecki, he says, did you ever work with local Northwest Washington by the border legend sportscaster John McKeechee? So there you go, Greg. All right, Dave Duncan with 3 RBI today, and that came with 1 swing of the bat. Now Nathaniel gets over the headaches, and he has a cold. Nathaniel, what are we going to have to do here, buddy? We have to send you back to the shop. Get you a tune-up, brother. Good to see you. Thank you for hanging in. So Greg saying that he was number 2 in the country, says John McKeechee. In 1975, when he suffered a tragic car accident, 9 months in a coma. Oh my! And spent the rest of his life in a wheelchair. Jeez, memory eternal. And yes. All right, Duncan in the box, count full, and Mickey Lolich gets him. Strike 3 called, fastball, catch in the corner, out number 1. Yep, we're gonna get your tune up there. I think it's the old timing chain there, buddy. All right, here's Dick Green. Dick Green is grounded out and struck out. Lolich deals 1-0 pitch. This one, fly ball, and Jim Northrup tracks it down, going far to his right. So now, with a base hit and a catch, maybe the few Detroit faithful here dotting the confines of Oakland Coliseum may just forgive Jim those errors, but I highly doubt it. So he did not work with him, but John worked many of the early Raptors and Grizzlies games. John worked for CTV. All right, here's Chuck Dobson now. Dobson walked his last time, bases empty. And Lolich into the wind, and the pitch. And this one lined up the middle, base hit. Northrup gets it to the wall, and not before Chuck Dobson has himself a 2-out double. 7th hit for Oakland now, and we're back at the top of the order for shortstop Larry Brown. So Brown on the day, is 1 for 3, but he's reached base twice, once on a single, once on an error. Lolich checks Dobson at second. No threat to steal. 1-0 pitch, and this one skied to right. K-line in and to his right will make the grab for out number 3. So, for the second consecutive inning, Oakland held scoreless, but the damage done in innings 2, 3, and 4 as they hold a 6-0 lead as we go to the top of the 7th inning. John's catchphrase, as D. Scott Howard was calling British Columbia the California of Canada. Quite a character. You know, I've had 2 opportunities to move to Canada and didn't take them. If I ever get a third, I'm packing. I'm on my way. 2 opportunities to live in the suburbs of Toronto. Toronto has a great city if you're a magician, and I kick myself, especially right now. You know, some of you know my politics. I'm really kicking myself in the arse that I didn't have the chance, or I didn't go to Canada. So this is when I came back from Europe, was the second, and I had a chance to go to Canada, but came back to the United States. But yeah. Oh well. So Greg says the irony of his cousin's injury was Greg Joy became the number 2 jumper in Canada and won a silver medal while your cousin's training part Claude Farage finished, your cousin's training partner Claude Farage finished 5th. So you're in the burbs. Greg's in the burbs. Yeah, I was going to be. Oh God, what was the name of that place? What? So one was Mississauga. I'm not saying. I guess I'm saying that correctly. And then the second time was Pickering, I believe it is. Still, it's like, why? Why did I do that? You know, Toronto, one of their great magic shops there is the Browser's Den, and could have hung out there every day. Oh, kills me. All right, Norm Cash over 2. I must have Dave Cash on the brain right now. 0-2 pitch, and high but not deep. Joe Rudy tracks it down, out number 1. And as D. Scott Howard says, as far as the outfields go, can't really say that this Oakland outfield, except for maybe Reggie, Joe Rudy probably has the most range out there. At Jackson with the best arm, and Tommy Davis is playing left. How about that? So you're in Scarborough. Okay. So Pickering about 30 minutes away from you. Yep. I don't know. I figure if you've had 2 chances at something in your life, you got to get a third. And I would be completely fine with Toronto. I really, really would. So I love, you know, I love huge cities, and my understanding is Toronto very much is kind of like it's a sort of a New York vibe, but not as, like, I don't know how I put it. People have been to Toronto, love it. I've never been, and I get a chance. But you know what? I'll live. Damn it! I get a chance to live in you know, Calgary or Saskatchewan, where I'll take it. Canada must be calling after me. So Quebec would be hard though, because my French sucks. So Bill North pretty steady in center field for the A's, yeah, and great speed, Billy North too. So as played lineups, this is what we got, and but Detroit's outfield just yikes. All right, here's Bill Freehan. 1-2 pitch, and swing and a miss on a curveball. So 2 down, and Chuck Dobson with 2 strikeouts now. Dick McAuliffe 1 for 2 batting in the 7th slot. 1-2 pitch, and Green, what a play, ranging far to his right, fires a strike to Epstein. We go to the middle of the 7th, 6-0, and we will be right back. Just gonna take a slug of water. And we're back. We're getting a message that Mickey looks fine. All right, Nate, Nathaniel, get yourself some sleep. Take care of that cold, brother. And when I know you're coming back on, I'll get a Brewers game on here. I promise you. All right, my man. Be well. Getting the message here that Mickey's looking fine. We got to try to get him through this inning because he's due up second when we hit the top of the 8th inning. So Greg says he loved it when Charlie signed Herb Washington for base stealing, only to find out you can be fast and still not know how to steal. Fun times in baseball, though. No characters anymore like Charlie and Bill Veeck and, and God, even Lasorda, Weaver. Baseball just is lacking that characters. One of the reasons why I love 1970s baseball is you just had all kinds of just wackos in that great decade of baseball. All right, we got Joe Rudi, Reggie Jackson, and Tommy Davis. Joe Rudi last time out, grounded to short that scored Chuck Dobson. 2-2 pitch, Tapper back to the mound. Lulich, good reflexes there. Fires on to Storm and Norman Cash for the 1-3 putout. Alfredo Griffin was a great base runner, but not a base stealer. Yep. We had quite a few guys like that. Another one that comes to mind, of course, one of the greatest of all time, Roberto Clemente. He could steal bases, but Clemente was really a great base runner. I just thought he was a fantastic base runner. Everything I've read about Roberto. D. Scott says he came to Bellingham for college in 1971 because it was 20 miles to safety in case it got too drafty. Still there. Yep. I understand, brother. I totally get it. You got to watch out for those drafts, man. Oof. All right, Reggie Jackson bats with one down, and Reggie has walked, struck out, and he has flown out. Mickey up to 105 pitches. 2-2 pitch. This one sent out to right field. It's got distance, but Al Kaline tracks it down for out number 2. So Kaline definitely the best in this Detroit outfield today. 2 down now for Tommy Davis. Tommy Davis 1 for 3 with a single. Lulich brings it, 0-2 pitch, and let's make that 2 singles. Hard ground ball base hit into left. Brinkman tried to get to the ball, too much spin on it. Willie Horton gets the ball back in. And, of course, the 19-year drinking age in Vancouver. First to third in a blur. Yes, you had it going on, D. Scott Howard, right? I get it. That's a drag now, right? It's like 21 everywhere for these kids. But I think everybody had that state, right? You had Maryland. Everybody would go to Maryland to drink. Yeah. Blue Moon Odom could really run as well. Good pitcher. Yes, he was. I thought, isn't this? Memory's not serving me properly tonight, but. Was it 71 or 72 that Odom had like this pretty damn good year? I can't remember. If it was out of the park baseball, I could look, but and Action PC, I can't. All right. Should I be technically calling this Rickey Henderson Field? I don't know if this picture, I can't tell by looking at this. Yeah, this is, by the time it's called Rickey Henderson Field, I think. I think that's what this is over here. So, anyhow, here's Sal Bando, 2 down. Lulich up, Freehan out to talk to Mickey, now behind the dish. Here's the pitch, and this one lined hard up the middle. Northrop has it. Tommy Davis turning on the afterburners. Will make it to third. Mickey needs out number 3. As I said, he is due up. When we head to the top of the 8th inning, he'll be due up second. All right, here's Mike Epstein. Epstein 1 for 2, popped to short last time up. Lulich reaching his expected pitch count now. Full count, and we're just going to have to take Mickey out. He's done. All right, and we're going to call on Bill Dennehy to try to get this final out. So Mickey Lulich is done, and I think he's happy. Bases are loaded for Dave Duncan. 3 RBI today. A 3-run shot back in the second. For Bill Dennehy on the season thus far, he is a 2.93 under an average, 1 win, 3 losses, 2 saves. He's worked 27 2/3 innings and has given up 1 home run. In the actual 1971 season, he gave up 4 and had a 4.22 earned run average, no wins, 3 losses, and 1 save. Dennehy from the stretch. And on a full count, Tommy Davis will literally just walk home. 7-0. What a sloppy game this one is. Greg says he went to an Expos game once and pitched a no-hitter for 5 and got a blister. Raleigh Fingers completed the no-hitter. The most famous 2-man no-hitter that I think about is, and I feel bad for the guy. Of course, we're talking 100 and some years later. Ernie Shore. Babe Ruth starts the game for the Red Sox, gets tossed, and Ernie Shore comes on and pitches the no-hitter, but doesn't get full credit. Poor guy. Ernie Shore. I think that was 1916, I think. All right, Dick Green, nothing for 3. Dennehy, tasked with getting this 3rd out, gives up the walk to Dave Duncan. 2-2 pitch, popped up the chimney, and Bill Freehand tosses aside the mask. This one will get out of play. Dennehy winds it up again, and on the 2-2 pitch, Dick Green chases and strikes out on the curve. 1 more run for Oakland on 2 hits, no error. We've played 7, and it's 7-0. Ed Brinkman lead things off here for the Tigers. And he had the 2nd Tiger hit in this game. Dobson deals 1-0 pitch, and this one clubbed to left, but Tommy Davis has it by the Comcast sign, which of course didn't exist in 1971, but work with me. So that double pitcher no-hitter was the 28th of July, 1976, against the Chicago White Sox. Playing in Stade Olympique. Bill Dennehy now is, of course, out of the game. Oh, my God. What do we got here? Oh, man. I say we bring in... let's bring in Ike Brown. It's either going to be Ike Brown or Gates Brown, but I think we're going to bring in Ike Brown. All right. Ike Brown, his numbers... look like this as a pinch hitter, a home run, 5 runs batted in. He's hitting 200 overall. So just seeing pinch hitting duties in the actual 1971 season, a 255 average with 1 triple, 8 homers and 19 runs batted in. So Ike itching to get into the game. Chuck Dobson working on a 3-hitter right now in the top of the 8th inning. Dobson deals first pitch swinging, and you can kiss it goodbye as this one gets up into the club boxes. Ike Brown goes absolutely yard and then some. That ball had a stewardess aboard. I'm sorry, a flight attendant. So Ike Brown, there, I look like a genius there. That was nice. All right, so Detroit gets on the board in the top of the 8th. Let's go to the top of the order now. Aurelio Rodriguez. Was on base once in the first thanks to a walk and was caught stealing. Dobson brings it home. 1-2 pitch. Rodriguez. This pitch just inside. Catching the black by a millimeter. 2 down for Al Kaline. Kaline with a walk. He's 0 for 2. Count full, and Kaline rips and misses. Strike 3. Detroit gets 1 lone run on 1 hit, no errors. Bottom of the 8th. And this one not terribly exciting. We're just going to let the manager pick the relief pitcher. All right, Chuck Dobson to lead things off, and Dobson draws the walk, so Dean Chance in the game now. 4.35 earned run average. No wins and 3 losses. Maybe I should have picked the reliever. Al Kaline. He still uses batters. You know, I've always said that Al Kaline, he wasn't a very, he didn't have really an acidic personality. Is that correct, D. Scott? Let's work with our chemistry here, brother. All right, here's Larry Brown. And we're not going to worry about what everybody's done at this point. It's 7-1. Chance deals. Brown is going to line this one foul. And Norm Cash will watch it bounce into the seats. Count full. Chance deals. And this one, Squibber to second, McAuliffe to Brinkman, but they're not going to turn 2. 1 away for Joe Rudi. Here's the pitch. And Joe Rudi, soft line drive will get down, played on the hop by Al Kaline for the 10th hit for the Oakland A's. Runners at the corners, 1 away for Reggie Jackson. And I'm not liking how Dean Chance is looking up there, but he's just going to have to just take 1 for the team at this point. Reggie, nothing for 3. And it looks like we got a wild pitch. Second wild pitch for the Detroit Tigers today. And it's 8-1. Ugh. So Greg says that he was wrong. He finished his career with Chicago, and Francisco Barrios finished the no-hitter against Oakland. Still good stuff, though. Don't know if you've ever heard of Francisco Barrios. Have to look him up. All right, Reggie back in the box. Joe Rudi in scoring position now, moving up on the wild pitch. 1-2, and Reggie is going to ground this one past McAuliffe. Joe Rudi's held up at third. What a mess is this game. My God. Tommy Davis. 2 singles, 2 groundouts. Chance from the stretch. 1-2 pitch. Oh, my God. Okay, so Davis picks up the RBI. Rudi comes in to score. And the only reason I'm taking Chance out of the game is because it's going to last all night if I don't. And I got to say, gentlemen, slim pickings. Slim pickings here for Detroit coming out of this bullpen. Oh, my God. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. As far as straight up relievers, we don't got lots. We're going to have to hit some. We just got to get somebody to just get these outs. So we're going to bring in Fred Sherman. Dean Chance is done and did absolutely gobshite, man. It was 2-1. Blue Moon walked 9. Oh, man. Walked 9. And they still got a no-hitter out of it. That's incredible. All right, let's look at Fred Sherman here. I'm too tired to say his name the way you would say it in Dutch. I'll say it once. Sherman is how you would say it. 2.51 earned run average. He was 8-4 in 1971. He had 20 saves, so he's in a different role here, but I'd like this game to end, before midnight. Here we go. Here's the pitch to Sal Bando, 2-on. And, well, that didn't work. On the 3-1 pitch, Sal Bando draws the walk. Good Lord. Yeah, Dean Chance was a good pitcher, just not today. Bases loaded. Here's Mike Epstein. 1-2 pitch, and Sherman gets, and there, I just said it in Dutch again, jeez. Gets the strikeout, 2 down. Here's Dave Duncan, 4 RBI today. That's your Oakland player of the game. I don't care what the game says. Here's the pitch. Duncan swings, gives it a long ride, but Jim Northrup has it. Mercifully, we head to the top of the ninth. Northrup, Horton, and Cash due up. Dobson looking for pitching a 4-hitter right now. That Ike Brown home run in the 8th, that's all Detroit has. You know, neither team's going to lose first place here, but here's the pitch. And Northrup swats this one to right. And this one just over the fence. Rudy watching it go. And Jim Northrup, look out. Look out. So the Tigers now just 7 runs down in the 9th. 339-foot shot by Jim Northrup. That one on the hanging curve by Chuck Dobson. Here's Willie Horton. And Dobson loses Horton. Could it start to get interesting? Norm Cash, nothing for 3. Dobson deals 1-0 pitch. High fly ball center field. Reggie Jackson has it at the track. Leaping grab. All right, excellent play there by Reggie Jackson. So 1 down for Bill Freehan. Let's have a look at our bench here and see what we got. Yeah. Not that it matters at this point. But just because I dig his name, we're going to bring in Gates Brown. Yeah, we're bringing in Gates Brown. Why not? All right. So Gates Brown hitting .429. 7 home runs, 14 runs batted in as a pinch hitter, hitting .417, 4 homers and 7 ribbies. So let's see if Gates Brown, the Gator, can get him, says Greg. Let's see if he can put a pair on the board here for the Tigers and at least make it a little bit more of a manly defeat, huh? Of course, Dobson looking to turn 2 here and get it over with. 0-2 pitch. And shallow fly ball to center. Reggie Jackson has it. Tigers down to their last out. McAuliffe gets to stay in the game. He had a hit today. 0-1 pitch. Fly ball to right field. Carrying Joe Rudy has it. And that is the end of one unremarkable ball game. That was pretty ugly, guys. It's pretty ugly stuff. All right. So the Oakland A's improved to 51-37. Detroit falls to 60-28, still maintaining the best record in baseball. Oakland, 9 runs, 12 hits, no errors. Detroit, 2 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors. Highlights for Detroit, Ike Brown with pinch hit home run. Jim Northrup was a highlight and a low light. He went 2 for 4 to the home run, but also committed 2 errors. For the Oakland A's, Dave Duncan, which got to get a picture for, went 1 for 4 the home run, 4 runs batted in. Tommy Davis went 3 for 5. Sal Bando went 2 for 3 and walked twice. Looking at, and no triples. 2 home runs in this game, 3 home runs in this game. Dave Duncan with that big 3-run shot. Ike Brown with a homer and Jim Northrup. Looking at pitching, Mickey Lolich tagged with a loss. Will go to 16-7. 6 2/3, 7 runs given up, 6 of those earned, gave up a home run, walked 4, struck out 4. Dennehy came in, worked a third of an inning, Bill Dennehy, and he walked 1, struck out 1. Dean Chance worked a third of an inning, gave up 2 earned runs and a walk, so off day for him. Sherman came in, 2/3 of an inning, walked 1 and struck out 1. Chuck Dobson goes the distance. 2 earned runs, 5 hits, walked 3, and struck out 4. Dave Duncan should definitely be player of the game here. Let's see what the game says. They're giving it to Chuck Dobson. I'm giving it to Dave Duncan. But nonetheless, excellent performance there by Duncan, who had a shutout going into the eighth. All right, that does it for this day. Let's see if we have anything fun for the following day as we move on to the 16th of July, 1971. Looking here, who do we have? Any two teams in contention playing for each other. Obviously, we'll have Detroit and Oakland. Let me see. So Mets and Houston. This could be a good one. Ryan versus Billingham. So that's probably going to be the next game we do in 1971. Also, Giants Reds. So Perry versus Nolan. So Gaylord Perry. Yeah, so that could be a good one. Trying to look at teams now just in contention. And the Orioles and the Angels. So some good games coming up. Questionable call by the game. Yep. It will definitely do that. So I'm not going to autoplay any of these other games yet. We'll do those on the night before we get into these. But we are done. We are done. Thank you, everybody, for coming in tonight and hanging out with me. An hour and 7 minutes. So Greg Gorecki, thank you. And again, everybody, Greg, responsible for the first televising of the Paralympics in Canada and a great career that he had with CBC. Greg, always a pleasure having you in here. All of you, great family members here. D. Scott Howard says that Gates Brown would have been a star in the designated hitter era. Definitely. You take care as well, Greg. Thank you. All right, going back here, back. Doing our Chris Berman. Geez, Nathaniel, take care of yourself. I know you've already off to bed, so take care of that cool brother. All right, good little active chat here tonight. Jack Dawson, again, put your question into Discord. Your answer is going to either be a monitor, use your telly, as long as you get yourself an HDMI output, you should be good to go to play some pocket pennant run baseball. Enzo the Picker, thank you for coming in tonight, buddy. Brother Jack, first one in the ballpark tonight. That does it for 1971, and it does it for me. Till the next time, guys, we'll see you around the batting cage.